Linate Delivery, Airbus 71, Airbus A320, ramp 6, request IFR clearance to Heathrow, information T-low.
Airbus 71, Linate Delivery, clear to Heathrow Airport via the 36 X-ray departure, runway 17, climb busiest to flight level 090, squawk 3260.
Clear to Heathrow Airport via the 36 X-ray departure, runway 17, climb busiest to flight level 090, squawk 3260, Airbus 71.
Airbus 71, readback correct. Contact ground 121.8 when ready for pushback or engine start.
Ground 121.8 when ready, Airbus 71, good day.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon, and this is
Belgium 613 Juliet, contact Linate Tower 118.1.
Sorry about that. Good morning, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking, and on behalf of the entire crew, I'd like to welcome you on board today's flight BA571. Sorry about that. We would like to welcome you on board today's flight BA571 from Milan to London Heathrow. We're currently just completing some final preparations for departure, including the last of the baggage and cargo, completing our paperwork and obtaining our departure clearance from air traffic control. Our planned flight time today is approximately going to be just over an hour, and we'll be cruising at an altitude of 33,000 feet. En route, we expect occasional light turbulence as we make our way across France, and the latest weather at Heathrow is clear skies and sun with a temperature of 32 plus degrees, quite hot there. We expect to be pushing back any time now with departure following shortly afterwards. We're departing off of runway 17, so we've got quite a short taxi to that. We invite you to now please sit back, relax, enjoy today's flight and use all of the services British Airways has to offer. Thank you and enjoy the flight.
14, bye-bye.
Airbus 71, ramp 6, request pushback and engine start.
Airbus 71, lane at the ground, pushback and engine start approved. Face west.
Pushback and engine start approved. Face west, Airbus 71. Airbus 71, request taxi.
Airbus 71, taxi to holding point Golf, runway 17 via Bravo Echo Golf.
Taxi to holding point Golf, runway 17 via Bravo Echo Golf, Airbus 71.
Airbus 71, contact Linate at Tower 118.1.
Over to Tower 118.1 Airbus 71. Airbus 71 holding short runway 17.
Aero Italia 2372, exit left at Tango.
Exit left at Tango, Aero Italia 2372.
Airbus 71, runway 17, line up and wait.
Line up and wait runway 17 Airbus 71.
Aero Italia 2372, monitor ground 121.8, bye-bye.
Ground 121.8, Aero Italia 2372.
Airbus 71, line at the tower, wind 130 degrees, 8 knots, runway 17, cleared for takeoff.
Runway 17 cleared for takeoff Airbus 71.
Airbus 71, contact Milan radar 126.75.
Contact Milan radar 126.75 Airbus 71. Milan radar Airbus 71 passing 1,300 feet climbing to flight level 090.
Airbus 71 Milan radar identified, climb flight level 100.
Climb flight level 100 Airbus 71. Contact Milan radar 124.925, Airbus 71. Milan radar, Airbus 71, passing flight level 074, climbing to flight level 100.
Airbus 71 Milan radar identified, climb flight level 180.
Climb flight level 180, Airbus 71.
Ryanair Uniform Romeo cleared gate at 4 Foxtrot arrival, runway 15.
Cleared gate at 4 Foxtrot arrival, runway 15, Ryanair Uniform Romeo.
Ryanair 36 Alpha Romeo, contact Rome radar 131.1.
Contact Rome radar 131.1, Ryanair 36 Alpha Romeo, bye bye.
Easy 42 Lima Golf, contact Marseille Control 120.85.
Contact Marseille Control 120.85, Easy 42 Lima Golf.
Vista 531, contact Marseille Control 120.85.
Contact Marseille Control 120.85, Vista 531, have a good afternoon.
Mosquito Uniform Mike, descend via start to flight level 110.
Descend via start to flight level 110, Mosquito Uniform Mike.
Ocean 4 Zulu Victor, contact Marseille Control 124.725, good day.
Center on 124.725, Ocean 4 Zulu Victor, good day.
Ryanair Uniform Romeo, report ready for descent.
Ready for descent, Ryanair Uniform Romeo.
Ryanair Uniform Romeo, descent to flight level 120.
Descent to flight level 120, Ryanair Uniform Romeo.
Airbus 71, request new cruise altitude.
Airbus 71, roger, say new altitude.
Request flight level 240, Airbus 71.
Airbus 71, roger, new cruise altitude, flight level 240. With Malta 392, cleared Medex 1 Delta, arrival runway 35.
Cleared Medex 1 Delta, arrival runway 35 with Malta 392.
Airbus 71, climb flight level 240.
Climb flight level 240, Airbus 71.
Speedbird 471, contact Zurich radar 126.225.
Contact Zurich radar 126.225, Speedbird 471. Milan radar, it's Aero 452, passing flight level 110, climbing to flight level 140, direct ML 624.
Aero 452, Milan radar identified, climb flight level 280.
Climb flight level 280 with Aero 452.
Clear Gospel 5 Charlie arrival, runway 17.
Clear Gospel 5 Charlie arrival, runway 17, Alcerio 850.
Alcerio 850, report ready for descent.
Ready for descent, Alcerio 850.
Alcerio 850, descent to 6,000 feet, QNH 1010.
Descent to 6,000 feet, QNH 1010, Alcerio 850.
Mosquito uniform Mike, contact Marseille control 120.85.
Center on 120.85, Mosquito uniform Mike. Have a good afternoon.
Wizz Malta 392, report ready for descent.
Ready for descent with Malta 392.
Wizz Malta 392, descent to flight level 250.
Descent to flight level 250 with Malta 392.
Airbus 71, request new cruise altitude.
Airbus 71, roger, say new altitude.
Request flight level 300, Airbus 71.
Airbus 71, roger, new cruise altitude, flight level 300. Airbus 71, climb flight level 300.
Climb flight level 300, Airbus 71.
Air France 67 Echo Zulu, contact Zurich radar 126.225, bye-bye.
Contact Zurich radar 126.225, Air France 67 Echo Zulu.
Ryanair 32 Romeo Whiskey, contact Rome radar 131.1.
Contact Rome radar 131.1, Ryanair 32 Romeo Whiskey, good day.
Alcerio 850, descend via start to 6,000 feet, QNH 1010.
Descend via start to 6,000 feet, QNH 1010, Alcerio 850.
Ryanair 36 Alpha Romeo, contact Rome radar 131.1, have a good afternoon.
Contact Rome radar 131.1, Ryanair 36 Alpha Romeo.
Aero 452, cleared Beatles 1 Bravo arrival, runway 26 left.
Cleared Beatles 1 Bravo arrival, runway 26 left with Aero 452.
Airbus 71, contact Zurich radar 126.225.
Contact Zurich radar 126.225, Airbus 71. Zurich radar Airbus 71, flight level 300.
Airbus 71, Zurich radar identified. Luxor 22 Romeo Quebec, contact France control 128.3, have a good afternoon.
Centron 128.3 Luxor 22 Romeo Quebec.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is once again another message from your captain. Currently cruising at an altitude of 30,000 feet at an airspeed of 0.81 Mach 0.81. We'll be currently landing, currently be starting our descent in around 40 minutes or so. So we do invite you to make yourselves comfortable. Flight is a little bit longer than usual. Say ATC have given us a flight plan to kind of circle around. On behalf of the entire British Airways team, thank you for choosing us to fly today, and I'll give you some more information just before our top of the descent. Thank you.
Zurich radar, speedbird 665, flight level 320. Speedbird 665, Zurich radar identified. Speedbird 471, contact rhymes control 128.3.
Contact rhymes control 128.3, Speedbird 471.
Edelweiss 24 Echo, contact long and radar 127.6.
Center on 127.6, Edelweiss 24 Echo.
Beeline 60 Hotel, cleared Odina 1 Yankee arrival, runway 35.
Cleared Odina 1 Yankee arrival, runway 35, Beeline 60 Hotel.
Beeline 60 Hotel, report ready for descent.
Ready for descent, Beeline 60 Hotel.
Beeline 60 Hotel, descent to flight level 250.
Descent to flight level 250, Beeline 60 Hotel.
Jet Belgium Charlie Charlie, descend via start to 3000 feet, QNH 1009er.
Descend via start to 3000 feet, QNH 1009, Jet Belgium Charlie Charlie.
Good afternoon, Zurich Radar, Speedbird 592, passing flight level 172, descending to 6,000 feet.
Speedbird 592, Zurich Radar identified. Beeline 60 Hotel, descend via start to 3000 feet, QNH 1009er.
Descend via start to 3000 feet, QNH 1009er, Beeline 60 Hotel.
Zurich Radar, fraction 251 Delta, flight level 411.
Fraction 251 Delta, Zurich Radar identified. Swiss 841 Charlie, contact Geneva, radar 125.55.
Center on 125.55, Swiss 841 Charlie. Milan radar 124.925.
Contact Milan radar 124.925, Sun Express 6 Yankee Foxtrot.
Speedbird 592, contact Milan radar 124.925, bye-bye.
Contact Milan radar 124.925, Speedbird 592.
Enter 96 Romeo Tango, contact Milan radar 124.925.
Center on 124.925, enter 96 Romeo Tango, good day.
Swiss 1 Yankee Tango, descend via start to 7,000 feet, QNH 1016.
Descend via start to 7,000 feet, QNH 1016, Swiss 1 Yankee Tango.
Swiss 757 Whiskey, contact Rhymes Control 128.3.
Contact Rhymes Control 128.3, Swiss 757 Whiskey, have a good afternoon.
Zurich radar, it's Aero 414. Good afternoon, passing flight level 319, climbing to flight level 360 direct Elma.
8 Aero 414, Zurich radar identified. Airbus 71, contact Rhymes Control 128.3.
Center on 128.3, Airbus 71. Rhymes Control, Airbus 71, flight level 300.
Airbus 71, Rhymes Control identified. Line 5 Whiskey Charlie, cleared on 06 Alpha, arrival, runway 01.
Cleared on 06 Alpha, arrival, runway 01, Beeline 5 Whiskey Charlie.
Beeline 5 Whiskey Charlie, report ready for descent.
Ready for descent, Beeline 5 Whiskey Charlie.
Beeline 5 Whiskey Charlie, descend to 9,000 feet, QNH 1018.
Descend to 9,000 feet, QNH 1018, Beeline 5 Whiskey Charlie.
Line 5 Whiskey Charlie, contact long and radar 127.6.
Center on 127.6, beeline 5 Whiskey Charlie.
Luxair 22 Romeo Quebec, cross LX 8990 at or above flight level 110, then descend to flight level 090.
Cross LX 8990 at or above flight level 110, then descend to flight level 090, Luxair 22 Romeo Quebec.
Air France 67 Echo Zulu, contact Paris Control 118.05. Have a good afternoon.
Contact Paris Control 118.05, Air France 67 Echo Zulu, have a good afternoon.
Luxair 22 Romeo Quebec, cross LX 8906 at or above flight level 080, then descend to 6,000 feet, QNH 1017.
Cross LX 8906 at or above flight level 080, then descend to 6,000 feet, QNH 1017, Luxair 22 Romeo Quebec.
Luxair 22 Romeo Quebec, contact Luxembourg approach 118.905.
Contact Luxembourg approach 118.905, Luxair 22 Romeo Quebec.
Rhymes control, Speedbird 665, flight level 320. Speedbird 665, Rhymes control, identified. Speedbird 471, contact Paris Control 118.05.
Contact Paris Control 118.05, Speedbird 471.
control, speedbird 659. Good afternoon, flight level 380. Speedbird 659, runs control identified.
Lines control, quality 5 Bravo Sierra, flight level 163.
Quality 5 Bravo Sierra, rhymes control identified, climb flight level 290.
Climb flight level 290, quality 5 Bravo Sierra.
Edelweiss 24 Echo, contact Brussels control 125.0.
Center on 125.0, Edelweiss 24 Echo.
Swiss 757 Whiskey, contact Paris control 118.05.
Center on 118.05, Swiss 757 Whiskey.
Airbus 71, contact Paris control 118.05.
Center on 118.05, Airbus 71, bye-bye. Paris control, Airbus 71, good afternoon, flight level 300.
Airbus 71, Paris control identified. Oscar Zulu, contact Rhymes Control 128.3, have a good afternoon. Contact Rhymes Control 128.3, Foxtrot Golf Oscar Delta Zulu. Control, speedboat 665, good afternoon, flight level 320. Speedboat 665, Paris Control, identified.
Speedbird 659, good afternoon, flight level 380.
Speedbird 659, Paris control identified.
Control, 45 Bravo Sierra, passing flight level 279 and descending to flight level 140.
Quality 5 Bravo Sierra, Paris control identified. Speedbird 471, contact Paris control 125.7.
Contact Paris control 125.7, Speedbird 471.
1, contact Paris Control 125.7, bye-bye.
Center on 125.7, Airbus 71. Paris Control, Airbus 71, good afternoon, flight level 300.
Airbus 71 Paris Control identified. Paris Control 3757 Whiskey, good afternoon, flight level 340. 3757 Whiskey, Paris Control identified.
Paris Control, KLM 33 low, flight level 330.
KLM 330 low, Paris Control identified. 3757 Whiskey, contact Paris Control 126.475. Center on 126.475, 3757 Whiskey, have a good afternoon. Air France 1140, contact Paris Control 126.475.
Center on 126.475, Air France 1140.
Airbus 71, clear the Lisa 1 hotel arrival, runway 27 left.
Clear to Lisa 1 hotel arrival, runway 27 left, Airbus 71.
Airbus 71, contact Paris Control 126.475.
Center on 126.475, Airbus 71. Paris Control, Airbus 71, good afternoon, flight level 300.
Airbus 71, Paris Control, identified.
Paris Control, Aerodins Delta Alpha, flight level 390.
Aerodins Delta Alpha, Paris Control, identified.
Airbus 71 approaching our top of descent, ready for lower.
Airbus 71, descent to flight level 180.
Descend to flight level 180, Airbus 71.
Air France 1140, cleared Dinatri Alpha, arrival, runway 06.
Cleared Dinatri Alpha, arrival, runway 06, Air France 1140.
Easy 6 for Juliet Foxtrot, contact Paris Control 118.05, bye-bye.
Center on 118.05, Easy 6 for Juliet Foxtrot, good day.
Swiss 757 Whiskey, report ready for descent.
Ready for descent, Swiss 757 Whiskey.
Swiss 757 Whiskey, descent to flight level 180.
Descent to flight level 180, Swiss 757 Whiskey.
Speedbird 471, descend via start to flight level 070.
Descend via start to flight level 070, Speedbird 471.
Airbus 71, descend via start to flight level 070.
Descend via start to flight level 070, Airbus 71.
Speedbird 471, contact London Control 118.475, bye-bye.
Center on 118.475, Speedbird 471.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have just begun our descent to Heathrow. We'll be landing in approximately 10 to 15 minutes. To ensure the cabin is ready for landing, please make sure your seatbelt is fastened and your tray table so the seatbelt is in its upright position. The seatbelt sign will be turned off as we do reach at around 15,000 feet, and we're currently at 27,000 feet, so we'll probably be around 5-10 minutes before we get to that. We're currently 120 nautical miles away from Heathrow, so yeah, not long to go now. On behalf of the entire British Airways team, we want to thank you for choosing us to fly with today. And if there's anything we can do to make, and if there's anything we can do next time to make the flight better, you can let us know on our highlight today.
Air France 1140, report ready for descent.
Ready for descent, Air France 1140.
Air France 1140, descent to flight level 230.
Descent to flight level 230, Air France 1140.
Paris Control, Speedbird 665, flight level 320.
Speedbird 665, Paris Control, identified. Speedbird 665, clear the Lisa 1 Hotel arrival, runway 27 left.
Clear the Lisa 1 Hotel arrival, runway 27 left, Speedbird 665.
Airbus 71, contact Paris Control 119.825, good day.
Contact Paris Control 119.825, Airbus 71. Paris Control, Airbus 71, passing flight level 235, descending to flight level 070.
Airbus 71 Paris Control identified. BC2437, descend to 10,000 feet, QNH 1016.
Descend to 10,000 feet, QNH 1016, CZ2437.
Paris Control Swiss 757 Whiskey, passing flight level 305, descending to flight level 180.
Swiss 757 Whiskey, Paris Control identified. Airbus 71, contact London Control 118.475.
Center on 118.475, Airbus 71. London Control, Airbus 71, passing flight level 210, descending to flight level 070.
Airbus 71, London Control identified. Speedbird 471, contact Heathrow direct to 119.73.
Contact Heathrow direct to 119.73, Speedbird 471.
Korean Air 907 Heavy, contact Heathrow direct to 119.73.
Contact Heathrow direct to 119.73, Korean Air 907 Heavy.
London Control Swiss 757 Whiskey, passing flight level 275, descending to flight level 070.
Swiss 757 Whiskey, London Control identified. EC95 Hotel Golf, cleared up at 1 Mike arrival, runway 23 right.
Cleared up at 1 Mike arrival, runway 23 right, EC95 Hotel Golf.
Airbus 71, reduce speed 270 knots.
Reduce speed 270 knots, Airbus 71.
Ryanair 63 Quebec November, descend via start to 8,000 feet, QNH 1018.
Descend via start to 8,000 feet, QNH 1018, Ryanair 63 Quebec November.
Ryanair 4519, cleared of Lin 4 Lima arrival, runway 28 left.
Cleared of Lin 4 Lima arrival, runway 28 left, Ryanair 4519.
Bangladesh 201 Heavy, resume normal speed. Resume normal speed, Bangladesh 201 Heavy. Bangladesh 201 Heavy, contact Heathrow direct to 119.73. Contact Heathrow direct to 119.73, Bangladesh 201 Heavy. Easy 95 Hotel Golf, report ready for descent.
Ready for descent, Easy 95 Hotel Golf.
Easy 95 Hotel Golf, descend to flight level 170.
Descent to flight level 170, Easy 95 Hotel Golf.
London Control, Tonga 504, passing flight level 238, climbing to flight level 330. Tonga 504, London Control identified, continue climb to flight level 330. Continue climb to flight level 330, Tonga 504. Ryanair 4519, contact London Control 118.775, bye-bye.
Contact London Control 118.775, Ryanair 4519.
Airbus 71, descend to 3,000 feet, QNH1016.
Descent to 3,000 feet, QNH1016, Airbus 71.
Easy 95 Hotel Golf, descend via start to 7,000 feet, QNH1018.
Descend via start to 7,000 feet, QNH1018, Easy 95 Hotel Golf.
Airbus 71, contact Heathrow Director 119.73.
Contact Heathrow Director 119.73, Airbus 71. Heathrow Director, Airbus 71, passing flight level 117, descending to 3,000 feet with information echo.
Airbus 71 Heathrow Director, good afternoon. QNH1016, expect the ILS approach runway 27 left with the Bravo India Golf transition.
QNH1016, expect the ILS approach runway 27 left with the Bravo India Golf transition, Airbus 71.
Heathrow Director, Swiss 757 Whiskey, passing flight level 0906, descending to 3,000 feet with information echo. Swiss 757 Whiskey, Heathrow Director, good afternoon. QNH1016, expect the ILS approach runway 27 left with the Bravo India Golf transition. QNH1016, expect the ILS approach runway 27 left with the Bravo India Golf transition, Swiss 757 Whiskey. Bangladesh 201 Heavy, maintain 230 knots.
Maintain 230 knots, Bangladesh 201 Heavy.
Speedbird 471, minimum approach speed.
Minimum approach speed, Speedbird 471.
Airbus 71, cleared direct begin, cross begin at or above 3,000 feet, cleared ILS approach runway 27 left.
Cleared direct begin, cross begin at or above 3,000 feet, cleared ILS approach runway 27 left, Airbus 71.
Airbus 71, increase speed 250 knots.
Increase speed 250 knots, Airbus 71.
Bangladesh 201 Heavy, reduce speed 220 knots.
Reduce speed 220 knots, Bangladesh 201 Heavy.
Swiss 757 Whiskey, cleared
direct begin, cross begin at or above 3,000 feet. Cleared ILS approach runway 27 left.
Cleared direct begin, cross begin at or above 3,000 feet. Cleared ILS approach runway 27 left, Swiss 757 Whiskey.
Airbus 71, maintain 240 knots.
Maintain 240 knots, Airbus 71.
Bangladesh 201 heavy, reduce speed 180 knots.
Reduce speed 180 knots, Bangladesh 201 heavy.
Airbus 71, maintain 230 knots.
Maintain 230 knots, Airbus 71.
Airbus 71, reduce speed 190 knots.
Reduce speed 190 knots, Airbus 71.
Airbus 71, reduce speed 170 knots.
Reduce speed 170 knots, Airbus 71.
Airbus 71, minimum approach speed.
Minimum approach speed, Airbus 71.
Airbus 71, maintain 220 knots.
Maintain 220 knots, Airbus 71.
Swiss 757 Whiskey, maintain 240 knots.
Maintain 240 knots, Swiss 757 Whiskey.
Airbus 71, maintain 200 knots.
Maintain 200 knots, Airbus 71.
Speedbird 471, contact Heathrow Tower 118.705.
Contact Tower 118.705, Speedbird 471, good day.
Airbus 71, minimum approach speed.
Minimum approach speed, Airbus 71.
Heathrow Director, Speedbird 665, good afternoon, passing flight level 097, descending to 3,000 feet with information echo. Speedbird 665, Heathrow Director, QNH 1016, expect the ILS approach runway 27 left with the Bravo Indian Gulf transition. QNH 1016, expect the ILS approach runway 27 left with the Bravo Indian Gulf transition, Speedbird 665. Korean Air 907 Heavy, contact Heathrow Tower 118.705. Have a good afternoon.
Over to Tower 118.705, Korean Air 907 Heavy.
Whiskey, maintain 200 knots.
Maintain 200 knots, Swiss 757 Whiskey.
Speedbird 665, cleared direct begin, cross begin at or above 3,000 feet, cleared ILS approach runway 27 left.
Cleared direct begin, cross begin at or above 3,000 feet, cleared ILS approach runway 27 left, Speedbird 665.
Bangladesh 201 Heavy, contact Heathrow Tower 118.705.
Over to Tower 118.705, Bangladesh 201 Heavy.
Heathrow Director, Korean Air 907 Heavy, 900 feet.
Korean Air 907 Heavy, welcome back. Continue.
Continue Korean Air 907 Heavy.
Swiss 757 Whiskey, contact Heathrow Tower 118.705.
Contact Tower 118.705, Swiss 757 Whiskey.
Korean Air 907 Heavy, turn left heading 185.
Turn left heading 185, Korean Air 907 Heavy. Heathrow Director, Speedbird 659, passing flight level 094, descending to 3,000 feet with information echo.
Speedbird 659 Heathrow Director, QNH1016, expect the ILS approach runway 27 left with the Bravo India Golf transition.
QNH1016, expect the ILS approach runway 27 left with the Bravo India Golf transition, Speedbird 659.
Airbus 71, contact Heathrow Tower 118.705.
Contact Tower 118.705, Airbus 71. Heathrow Tower, Airbus 71, ILS approach runway 27 left.
Airbus 71, Heathrow Tower, continue.
Wilco Airbus 71.
2,500.
Swiss 757 Whiskey, wind 230 degrees, 5 knots, runway 27 left clear to land.
Runway 27 left clear to land, Swiss 757 Whiskey.
Swiss 757 Whiskey, exit right at November 5 Echo.
Exit right at November 5 Echo, Swiss 757 Whiskey.
Airbus 71 go around. Fly runway centerline, maintain 3,000 feet.
Going around. Fly runway centerline, maintain 3,000 feet, Airbus 71.
Airbus 71, contact Heathrow Director 119.73.
Contact Heathrow Director 119.73, Airbus 71, talk to you in a minute. Heathrow Director at Airbus 71, 200 feet.
Airbus 71, welcome back. Continue.
Continue, Airbus 71.
Turn left, heading 190.
Turn left, heading 190, Airbus 71.
Speedbird 665, contact Heathrow Tower 118.705, bye-bye.
Contact Tower 118.705, Speedbird 665, have a good afternoon.
Ladies and gentlemen, sorry for the go-around. ATC, the airport's very busy and to go around the airport. The plane didn't exit the runway in time, so we had to do a go-around. We should be able to keep there was nothing wrong with the aircraft, no wind, it was just very busy. We'll try and land again in around 5 to 10 minutes. Thank you, and sorry for the delay.
turn left heading 360.
Turn left heading 360, Korean Air 907 Heavy.
Korean Air 907 Heavy, maintain 3,000 feet until established. Cleared ILS, approach runway 27 left.
Maintain 3,000 feet until established. Cleared ILS, approach runway 27 left. Korean Air 907 Heavy.